Hello and welcome to Rallying the Forge. I am Solymr, and in this episode we are going to be touching on a couple announcements, and then we are going to dive into the JedForge Competitive Circuit number 2, all 16 decks that were submitted, and I'm going to give my opinion and take on them. And yeah, so starting with, it's been announced the current Season 2 for the Battle Pass is going to conclude on March 25th. So you have till that date, that's a couple weeks from now, to finish out your Battle Pass. You can see I'm pretty close to there. I only have a couple 100,000 experience to go, so that'll take me a few days to knock out. So make sure you get that done in time and collect all your rewards before they disappear. It is assumed the next season will have another Battle Pass. Let's jump to the Discord announcement. Maybe not. We have the next legendary drop set announced. It is indeed mages. We have wizards and warlocks. You can see the logo there that I've got pulled up. So it looks really cool. Lucas announced it will release on March 25th. Also when Season 1 or Season 2 ends, and I assume the next season will begin. This legendary drop will include all 4 factions, as well as 2 new Living Forgeborn. And he does say it will also start a new Battle Pass and end the current one. So make sure you get that done. Save up your embers for this next drop. Creature Chaos League begins soon. If you haven't signed up, you can click the link in the Discord there. We're going to go there now. And we have currently 16 players signed up. My next video, if we've got the deck list by then, I'll review the decks, as well as I'm going to look at the points and the bonus points and see what kind of situations we can have, what you might expect you need to do to be able to qualify. Only the top 4 or the 4 plus whoever's tied qualify. Yeah, you're going to have to do well. But we'll go over this and see what we can expect from that once we have all the decks, know the bonus points. I'll review all the decks as well. That'll be probably my next video, hopefully later this week. But we've got 16 so far. We'll see if we get any additional last-minute signups or not. All right, so let's talk JedForge Competitive Circuit number 2. So you can see matches have already been going on. People are in the second round. Some people have played another round. So we have Iron Bryce, Tomato Red Eyes. We have Traveler, Namrog, Billy Bad Aim, The Upside Down, and Tofa, and myself, all still in the main bracket. We have Gizmo Lightning, Ike's Ninjas, Anovis, Sorum, Bionic Soup, and Bleak in the first round of the losers bracket, and Ithai has already eliminated Gambit 184, who was last circuit's runner-up. Ithai has moved on to the round 2 for that, and they of course are at that point they're single elimination, so a lot at stake for all those players right now. So in this, I don't know if Jed activated it. I guess you can you can vote on who you think's gonna win. So as matches come up, as they complete, they get taken down. I don't know if we'll see at the end what everyone voted for or not, or like it'll give a review of it, or if there's a way to see. No, I don't know. So yeah, let's get into the decks here. I will say, by the way, for matches, obviously I'll have my recordings, and I'll probably be stealing some other people's recordings putting them up on my channel just so you can see some of the different matches. I'm doing the competitive circuit number 1 right now. I've got 2 videos out and plan to have a few more later this week. Probably going to drop those 2 at a time right now, and just to catch up because I'm a little bit behind on it. So that's the plan for now. So the second competitive circuit here probably won't be for a few weeks before those videos start coming out for my stuff. Okay. Decks. All right. The first deck here, this is a Novus's deck. Austin's deck. I don't know what is going on with this deck, to be honest. I guess it's kind of a mage deck of some nature. Was he trying to do the hardest combination of deck factions to build together? I'm not sure. He's got plenty of spells though. Nice 6-spell Aloyan half there. It's got some warrior synergies. It's got mage synergies, spell synergies. I don't know what he's trying to do. There's nothing really strong in the deck that's like a finisher. I don't know what this is. I'll be honest. Maybe he selected the wrong deck. I'm not positive, honestly. I'll be honest. But I was surprised to see this, but maybe it performs well. I don't know. But looking at it on paper here, or on the screen, I guess, the biggest thing is, I guess, the mage synergy and the potential to, like, the tamers pump them up. He could get Chaining Adept to get a bunch of spells off if he gets lucky. He's got the Elementalist to help with that for free spells. Obviously, Allomancer's a nice card to remove some stuff. He's got some okay cards, just nothing that seems really that strong. The spells aren't half bad. They're okay, but not great at the same time. So, not big on that deck, I'll just say, be honest. Okay, the next deck here is Antopha's. So he's got a Killian deck here. I assume he's using Killian, but maybe he's using the Sunder. I didn't think he would be using the Sunder, but my guess is the Killian. Haven't seen a lot of people play with the Sunders, but my guess is Killian with the Mantis in the deck. No Forge Seal. He's got a Drix Apocamancer. He's got double Magnivorius. It is 2 warrior half decks. Or I'm sorry, it's Scientist and Warrior, rather. Sorry. And then he's only got 5 spells. He does have a Betrayer Lightning Spark in here. The spells are not great. And it's a lot of creatures, and sure, you can do some replacement stuff. I just don't know what he's going for with it. Like, it doesn't have a finisher. Like, normally you'd want to see a Krogaius in here for the Utera half, but he's going different with some of the minion stuff. He's got Grove Mother. So he's going for some replacement stuff with the Apocamancer. I just don't know how it plays out. He does have Utera Forebear and Verdant Watch, which is really nice cards for pumping. I love in the Warrior set. You get them often together. It's really cool to see. I have a few decks like that myself. But this is so creature heavy. I can see this having trouble against decks that are really control oriented, because he needs things on the board to replace. If you can keep him from having those options, his deck's going to fall apart. He doesn't have anything that's going to overwhelm you otherwise. So unless the Sunder, and I can't see, the picture's not going to show up. I can't see Sunder the Verdant to remember what his ability is, but I'm guessing he's using the Killian. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I am paired up with him now in the second round, so I'm going to find out. We're going to be playing later this week, and I'll be streaming that, of course. So it's a lot of creatures. He doesn't have like a Taliesin for extra plays, so I feel like it's too unbalanced, and the spells are not impactful enough to be game breaking necessarily. So I'm just curious how it plays out. Obviously with the Mantis, I'm guessing play creatures from your discard pile for free is meant to get more things on the board that way. I just don't know. I really don't know. I saw Killian, I saw the Mantis, I was like, oh boy, and I was looking like, oh, no Kurgaius though. So I'll be curious to see how this deck plays. There's a very good chance he'll beat me with it. We'll see. I need to draw well for sure. But I'm not big on the deck, how it looks, but once we play and kind of see how it goes, it might do better than I think. And we'll just see how that goes. All right, next up is Jed Bionic Soup. He brings, of course, he's got a Shambler, Blight Witch, Stitcher, and Harvester in the same half. He's also got Drix with his Rallying Adept. Only has 7 spells, though, but for the most part, they're pretty good spells. So I don't know. I don't know if this. I think he changed out the Necream half from what he had it. He said he upgraded the Necream half. I don't remember what he had prior to compare it to. So looking at it, yes, it's got some. The Ghoulish Shambler. Ghoulish is a great modifier. He's got the Blight Witch for some free spell plays. But he doesn't have, he doesn't really have that much minion generation. He does have a Drix, of course. He's got the Overseer. He's got Circe's Call, potentially, if he has an opponent that plays a lot of spells. He could chuck his Moeba and get the minion out there instead afterwards. He's got options. I guess with the Harvester, with the Scientist, there's some extra stuff. So maybe more than I thought. He does have Inventor, too. So he actually has a lot more than I thought, really. But again, I think a deck that can control his board is going to give him trouble. But if he can get his board going and get it full, he's going to run over you. The Rallying Adept is really nice, of course. And I don't know what he had with it before, so I don't know if this is better or worse, but I think that's what he's trying to figure out. And it's a very, very nice Betrayer that he got there with the Rallying Adept. So I hope I don't have to face this deck at all. That's for sure. All right, next up we have the first competitive circuit runner-up, Gambit 184, Carl. He's got a double Apocalypser deck. He has a Betrayer Charger in this deck. He's got Sonic Burst. Really, all his spells in this deck are great. He's got 8 spells. It's perfect. My question for this deck is there enough minion generation? He's got Warmonger mod. He's got the Overseer. He's got Circe's Call. I mean, Nom could give him a minion to Zrath's Will for free, but so he doesn't have a whole lot of minion generation to replace stuff with on the Apocalypsers. So I don't know. I've seen this Alolan half before. It's a really good Alolan half, but I don't know about pairing it with this Necream half. And to be fair, he's already been eliminated, so obviously the deck is not going very well for him. I don't know how bad the losses were yet, but I did watch one of his matches. I don't know if he got the second one up yet. He might have. I don't remember now. But definitely an interesting build. I just don't know that the second Apocalypser really works with as limited of generation of extra creatures. Just my take. All right, next up we have Gizmo Lightning. So as you can see, the sketch art Korok, that is freaking awesome, and it's an RSE. So sketch art was something they did with I don't know if it was just set 1 and 2. I don't know of any for set 3 or if it was just set 2 maybe even. But I've got a few sketch art decks that I've won or traded for. I think they're awesome. I wish they would have continued doing them. I love it, and I love how it does show it on here as it is in person. They are so cool. She's lucky that she got a really good one. None of the ones I have are great by any means. So she's got an amazing RSE sketch art deck here with 6 spells, good creatures, really, really good RSE half. It's just a matter of what do you pair it with. And she is trying a new pair, and I'm not so sure how much I like the Necreum pairing for it. It does have a Darkheart Sorcerer, so it does have that. But otherwise, I don't know how much I like it. The spells are just okay. It is a set 3 warrior deck. It's got some okay creatures, obviously, but I just don't know that they fit or work for the RSE half. For me, it's not a pairing I would probably try to put together. I don't care for the spell package as it relates to RSE. I guess it feels like she's hedging against need to rely on the RSE, where she could just play the Necreum half warriors and still do well with it. I just don't know if it has enough. If this deck had a Verlana in there instead of, say, the Butcher, I might like it a lot more just because she works really well with the other warriors that are in the deck. I do love Hammer Bearer. That's awesome. Gloom Reaper Hag as a non-warrior, but and the Graveborn Caller are both good commons. I still don't like the spells so much, but I'm not a huge fan of this pairing. I don't know how it plays, so hopefully I do not have to face her though, because that RC half is really good. Love the spells. Love the sketch art. That is the coolest thing ever. If you've never seen one, they are amazing. So I've got a couple, and they're all garbage. They're nothing like this. Nothing this good. All right, next up we have Ike's Ninjas. He has a double shamble with triple hard removal. Only 6 spells, but all 6 spells are pretty good. He's got a perfect Cersei with Mantis and Forge Seal in the deck. He does have some life gain in the Utera half, but I'm not really big on the creatures he has in that deck. In the deck, period, really, across the board. He's definitely relying on the shambling and the life gain, and using the Mantis and Forge Seal with the Forgeborn abilities to really control the tempo of the game. I don't know. This deck doesn't have a killer in it. It's got a basher, but not like unless the Oros half has. He does have Darkforge Drain, so maybe he goes that route. But he's only got 6 spells, so it wouldn't make sense to really go that way. My guess is he uses the perfect Cersei and really can control the board and gets damage through. He does have a Rex. He's got a basher for the Rex, but and a Mongosaur in the other half. Drake, I think, is a dinosaur too, isn't it? It is a dinosaur as well. So he's got some dinos. I just don't know that I care for it that much. He's got Spring Dryad and Soothing Hunter for some life gain. I don't care for the Eidolon. The Asperian Steel Plate is meh. So I'm not big on the creatures. The Drake, the Mongosaur, okay. Portal Shade is more utility. Gloom Reaper Hag is a fine common. He does have a Reaper, and then he's got the double 2 Shamblers. So I don't know. Like, in theory, the idea is solid. I don't know that I care for this deck. I don't know how it plays. I don't know if he's played in other events or not with it, but I just don't like. I'm looking for something that's going to be, besides the shambling of what's going to be finishing off your opponent, and he doesn't have anything. The Basher, maybe, but he doesn't have any pump for it. Like I said, he does have Dreadbolt, Neck Revive, and Botanimate. With the Perfect Cersei, with the Death Touch and Life Drain, he's going to be able to remove a lot of things off the board and be able to potentially push damage through. That might be how it works. This could be really strong. It could also not do well depending on what your opponent brings. A lot of these decks so far, I feel like if your opponent can keep your board relatively under control, then these decks are not going to do well. Trying to think if any of the decks yet have... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like any of them have... They all rely on just a couple cards for them to work, and that might be the theme this time. Okay, next up, we have Iron Bryce, and he brings a double warrior with Baton and Verlana. I like it. Love seeing at the end, the bookends there of the legendaries and the decks. That's really cool. Only has 7 spells, but they're pretty good spells, to be honest. He's got Forest Raid there. He's got Enraged, and he's got Endless Hunt, Reverse Souls. So with the Forest Raid and Enraged, he can battle, set himself up for where he's going to get the win in the battle. Force Raid, of course, pumps warriors. It's great with Baton. Baton, of course, if he slays, he gets pumped. His level 3 pumps all your creatures, so if you get that far with him, he becomes a monster. And, of course, when he comes into play, he strikes a random enemy creature. If he kills it, he starts off just going nuts. So Baton's really fun, but you also need it to be a little lucky as well. I'm guessing he uses the Nova, but I'm not positive. I imagine he is. He's got Darklinger, which is nice as an augment when you get that going. He does have, like I said, River Souls. He's got the Endless Hunt, so he can bring some stuff back from time to time. Mostly warriors, but he does have like the Soul Scourge Grimgaunt, so that can come back with Endless Hunt and potentially be a real big problem for your opponent. Of course, Verlana's great. Baton's good. He's got a Vampiric Druid, which it can be nice. He does have a Darkshaper Savant in the deck, kind of goes unnoticed. Of course, he's got Core Kidrith for some potential additional plays to get his board up with creatures and be able to use those spells more often. So this deck is intriguing. It's not the scariest thing, but I feel like this thing can get going quickly, and it can be hard to come back from because he's got so much going on. What do you kill first, Baton or Verlana? If he puts Endless Hunt out there, is he going to bring back the Soul Scourge Grimgaunt? And, how's that going to affect things when you're trying to wipe his board out? He's got Darkshaper Savant. When he gets that leveled up, he's going to be able to start reducing your creature's power, which is only going to play into his strengths of reducing your health with Verlana, pumping his Baton himself or all his creatures with Baton at level 3. Darklinger can play into that too. So this thing, it feels like it could really go off. But I just don't know. I feel like it's susceptible to someone who puts all their everything that they can into one creature, and they got that big, 15-15 Oakfather on the second turn of the game. And what are you going to do to take that down? It's going to take you like 5 turns to kill it. And every time you're about to do it, they're like, oh, I pump it up 3-3, haha. And you just can't get it off the board. Something like that. He doesn't have removal for that. His removal is going to be the Force Raid and Enraged, trying to get it in combat when your opponent might not be expecting it necessarily. So be interesting to see how this deck plays for Bryce. But it looks like a lot of fun, and it's definitely interesting. Would like another spell or two in the deck, but otherwise, it's very interesting, and I look forward to seeing what this deck can do. Alrighty. Oops. So next up is Ithai. He has RSE with a Dark Heart Sorcerer, Necromancer. He's only got 7 spells, but it's a pretty good spell package. This is more a traditional RSE build, in my opinion. He's got a lot of extra Necrium creatures that I'm not a big fan of for this style deck. He does have a Doom creature, which is nice. Another additional way to flip the RSE if you're not drawing your Dark Heart or they killed it. So that is nice. But the other creatures, they're just kind of not very useful overall. Definitely would have liked to see a 4 or 5 spell Necrium half with the Dark Heart there, especially when he's got a windy creature in it with his Nova there. But otherwise, it's just more traditional. Nothing really that special that I can see. It's got good spells. It can do some work. It'd be really nice if he had a Shard back. He's got a Commander and Magus that he can ping a Shard back with, but he doesn't have a Shard back in his half. Those are hard to come by. But yeah, this is more just traditional RSE. We'll see how far it takes him. All right, next up is Namrog. He has an RSE deck, another RSE deck. He's got double Vampiric, double Shamble. He's got no Dark Heart Sorcerer, and it's a double Warrior deck. And he has a decent spell package. He's got 8 spells total. He's got Endless Hunt, double Primordial Slam for the warrior stuff. And the double Primordial Slam there, that's a bug. They realized it when the set went live. People were able to get it. I don't know if they fixed it or not, if you can still get double Primordial Slam. I don't know if that was the only card that was affected. But, I mean, it's cool. And it works out well with the Warriors, so you're not going to miss on that bonus attack very often, I guess, with double Warrior deck. It's an interesting build. Definitely not a traditional RSE build with no Dark Heart Sorcerer. The double Vampiric is great for flipping, of course. Shambling can flip, of course. He does have a Cutthroat creature as well, which could trigger a Shamble if he utilizes that. But aside from those creatures, the rest of the creatures don't really fit in. Primarily, I guess, the Skeleton and the Moeba don't really fit in with anything. But you'll have that, I guess. And then of course, the Nova half, the creatures there also don't really fit in with the Nova theme. They're warriors. So, it's double warrior with an RC. Maybe RC is the one out of place, even though that's probably the reason for the build to begin with. Don't know how this plays. It's got decent spells, but it's non-traditional. I don't know how much the RC plays into it more than it's just a warrior deck doing fun things with Shambling and Vampiric. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out for Namrog. All right, the next deck is Bleak. So Bleak's deck, I did play this in the first round. It's a double Shamble with a lot of blasting potential. He played it really great in our first match, almost beat me, and then the second match, it didn't go so well for him. I feel like maybe he just didn't draw well, and then I also had some misplays with my deck, but I still beat him pretty handedly in that one. The first match, though, was a really good match, and he got maximum value out of his Epidemic, and his deck was definitely, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it felt like he was just constantly stalling until he get his Shamblers going, which obviously is one of his key mechanics, is the Shambling. But he wouldn't take a ton of damage. He would always be blocking stuff. He'd wipe my stuff off the board. I couldn't get any footing going with my board state. It took a lot for me to get going and finally get some damage through and do some work. And the way my deck played, I was able to, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I was able to kind of trap him into things that he might not see coming, that to take advantage, because he was playing so well with stopping me from being able to do anything. So this deck, when I first looked at it, it was kind of like how I looked at Anovis's deck, and I was like, what is this thing? Not as bad as Anovis's was, but because he's got double shamble here, you know, he's got some things for this deck, but the Tempest half I looked at, I was like, well, he can blast a lot, but I don't know how much that's going to happen. Like I said, he got so much value out of the Epidemic. When I do the replay, you'll have to watch it. It'll definitely change your mind about Epidemic. So he used it really well in that first game. But overall, an interesting build. Definitely, he doesn't have a large collection like a lot of the people in this event, so he's making do with what he has, and it's a pretty interesting build, and definitely took me by surprise in that first match. All right, this next one, I'm not going to say much about this other than Blotley Varos. This is Red Eye's deck, one of the most annoying decks there is. It can definitely win matches. It can also lose matches. It's just an annoying deck to play against. I hate this deck. So, obviously, he's trying to win this thing with it. He played it last time, and he's coming back with it. So, hopefully I don't have to face him. I think he's in the other half for me. So, I might not have to until we eventually lose, perhaps. But this deck, obviously, Blotley, Varos. Blotley brings things back. Varos blocks your opponent from being able to bring things back, so he's just bringing stuff back for himself. He's got River of Souls, Ghastly Renewal for reanimation stuff. He's got Stroke of Genius system upgrade for lots and lots of upgrade. He gets everything upgraded, so there's all sorts of stuff in his banish pile for him to reanimate. So it's a good deck. It's fun. I'm still waiting for that Blotley Betrayer with the Riven Varos in the same half. That's the money Aloyan deck right there. But very, very good build here. Really like it, and definitely don't like playing against it. So not much to say there. All right, next up is my deck, and hey, it's another RSC deck. So I recently transferred my old RSC builds to my son's account, and I have a new RSC that I'm using, a new build I'm trying out to see, well, just how good can it do. This has a Dark Heart Sorcerer, has Vampiric, has a good amount of spells. They're just average for the most part, though. Nothing special. I don't have some of the good ones. So this deck is just basically a typical RSC deck. Like I said, I've got a Dark Heart, I got Shambling, Vampiric, I've got 3 other creatures from Necrium that really don't do anything in particular. Although the Grimgaunt Harvester, you can toss it out there if you're going to lose a bunch of creatures, and he can become aggressive, potentially surprise your opponent if they don't know what the card does. Runescarred Pit, Dreadbolt, Warbringer Ritual. The spells are just okay. Nothing special, really. Yeah, it's just, the more I look at it, the more I play it, it's just like, it's just an average RSC deck. When it hits, it's like any RSC deck. It can be strong. When it doesn't, yeah, it's typical RSC, right? It's not going to win, probably. So, nothing special there, in my opinion. I kind of want to get my other RSC deck back, maybe. All right, next up we have Billy Bad Aim, the manly one. So he's got a double Kindred with Mantis, and he's got a variety of life gain mechanics in the deck. So he's got Shambling, Vampiric, Spring Dryad. He gets stuff from spells, Forgeborn abilities. I assume he's using the Oros, by the way. So he's got a lot of opportunities for life gain. I don't know how the deck plays for him. This is not what I would say is a standard deck for him normally. He's only got 6 spells in the deck, which is not a lot. And one of his Shamblers is Corrupt. The other one's a Shambling Summoner, which is nice. But I don't know how it plays for him. This is not, like I said, I don't feel like it's typical for him. It's typical for a lot of other people, but for him, he has something off the wall that people don't normally play or have. And my experience with Kindred decks is they just don't work. They don't work well enough. So I don't know. We'll see how it works for him. If it's good for him, the Reveller's nice because he gets a free spell play with it. He does have Blight Witch for potential free spells. But like I said, he doesn't have a lot of spells to begin with, so to draw them in the right amounts at the right times is going to be hard. But we'll see how it does. We'll see how the deck does. It definitely could be something he could go off with the life gain, and it could just be hard to do that. If he gets one of the Kindred creatures going, you have to have some hard removal to get rid of him, otherwise it gets out of hand. So kill him while you can. Next up, we have the Upside Down, Brandon's RSE build. I don't know if this is his standard build or if it's a special Necrim half with it or not. I believe it's the regular RSE half. Obviously, he's got Dark Heart Sorcerer, Vampiric. He's got a good spell package for both half decks. Good amount of spells. He's got, like all the other ones, some creatures that are just kind of meh. At least the Bone Scythe Reaver is a good utility card. Indomitable Fiend, not much for that. Maybe with Grave Pact, I guess. But his Nova half is pretty solid. The spells are really good. Creatures aren't bad. So just another standard RSE build. I don't know if this is his normal one or whatnot. Not positive on that. Next up, we have Traveler. This is my favorite deck of all the decks that are here. It definitely it hurt when he beat me to buying this Tempest half because I was going to buy it when I saw it, but it was already sold to him. And I really wish I could have got it because I really love this half deck. So he's got, of course, a Furious Shardback with double Windy. He has, in this build, 11 spells. They're all really solid for the most part. He's got River of Souls, double Dreadbolt, Cersei's Call. He's got a Dire Hound, but the other Necrim creatures are kind of meh. So it's definitely about board control, bringing back windy creatures on demand, blasting things off the board. Furious Shardback also taking things off the board. Although I will say, if you can live long enough and you've got a good Krogaius deck could probably wreak havoc on this deck. So he's definitely clearing your lanes out and pushing damage through a little bit at a time. I don't think he's got anything where it's going to be like, 15 damage from this one guy. Maybe with the Mongolsaurus Rampage with one of the dinos, potentially, but otherwise not. But I really like the Tempest half. I think it's better than my Tempest half. I think he said he likes mine better, but I like his better. It's got the Dreadbolt, and that's such a good card to have. So this is probably the deck I think that could win it all in this. Not a surprise that Traveler's playing it. He only plays top tier decks. So even when he plays something lesser, it's still better than what everyone else has. But love the Furious Shardback. It's just such an awesome card, and I'm glad that it's gained popularity since when I first started using it, and people didn't seem to know its power back then, or I don't even know what. But really, really like this deck. So, all right. Last deck, Solymr. So he has a Gox deck here. He's got a fair amount of minion generation potential with the Brigade Carrier, Drone Hive. Not much else in the way of minion generation, but they have the potential to do some stuff. But I just don't know that he has the right cards for it in this deck, this pairing. He's got what I would say is an average warrior deck from the Necreum. It doesn't seem to have a whole lot special with it that really takes charge and control of the board. I personally think for the Necreum set, well, this is a set 1, but for these types of warrior decks, when you're playing Necreum, if you don't have a Verlana, it's probably not really that good overall, honestly. You would need a really special set of creatures for it to be like, yeah, this can be pretty solid, but then you got to pair it with something like, I would have looked to pair this with an Alolan Captain warrior deck. That would have felt better to me than the Gox deck because it just pumps attack. But that's just my take. If he paired it with a good warrior deck with a captain in it, I think it could have been pretty good. That's just my opinion, though. He does have a good amount of spells in this with the 5 spell Alolan half. But the spells are hit and miss. Reconstruct can be really good, but you gotta get that past that first level. He's got Alolan Monolith, the Seal of Anvillion, Silver Arc for some Exalt to use with his Central Conductor. Of course, Mass Link will let him play it for free later on if he flips it over. He does have 3 good Necreum spells with the deck. It just... I'm not feeling the synergy with this deck. So, just my opinion. I think he could have done better here. I think he's trying to use the Gox deck. I think he likes the Gox deck, and he's trying to find something to use it with, and that's where it comes in, instead of trying to find a better fitting for the Necreum half, perhaps. But, yeah. So that is all 16 decks. I'm going to refresh this page to see if any other matches have been done. Nothing yet. So we have Iron Bryce's Warriors going against Red Eyes and his Blotley Rivenvaro's half. That'll be interesting. Iron Bryce's deck could definitely get pretty good board presence going, so it might be tough for Red Eyes. But if Red Eyes can keep bringing stuff back, it could make it hard for Bryce to overwhelm him. It will eventually turn into Red Eyes' favor if he can't bring stuff back. But if Bryce can bring stuff back, his stuff could be better. So could be a dangerous matchup. Curious to see how that works out. We have Traveler going against Namrog. And Namrog, of course, has RC. And I personally feel like Shardback decks are really good against RSE decks. That's just my opinion, though. We have Billy Badaim with his double Kindred going up against the Upside Down in his RSE deck. So I'll be curious to see there. Can Brandon get aggressive enough early to put too much pressure on Billy Badaim before he can get his stuff set up and going, kind of get his machine going. And then we have Antofa versus Solymr. Of course, I have your typical RSC deck, and Antofa has the Killian deck with Drix Apocamancer and a Mantis. Curious to see how that works out. Like I said, he's light on spells, doesn't have a ton of minion generation. If he uses the Sunder, I'll be curious. I don't think he's using the Sunder, but if he is, that'll be interesting. I'm guessing he's using Killian. Be curious to see how his deck goes. Drix and Apocamancer decks, if they can get lined up properly, they can go off, especially when you get the level 2 or level 3 Apocalypse on the board. They can do some really interesting things, and sometimes you just can't stop it. So be curious to see there what he's got. He does have the Grove Mother, so I don't know if there's a combo I'm missing there of where that goes off, and can maybe there's an infinite combo I'm missing with it. I'm not positive on that. I felt like there was an infinite combo with it, but I don't remember what it was. So if you guys do know, you can comment it in the video comments and let me know if there was an infinite combo with Grove Mother and Apocalypse. But otherwise, it's going to be an interesting battle. If he doesn't draw well and I don't draw well, it's going to be a pretty even matchup. If he draws well and I draw well, it's going to be a matter of how aggressive can my deck get versus if we get later into the match, I think it's going to favor him in those two instances. So it'll be interesting to see. But definitely looking forward to it, to the rest of the matches. Hopefully I get a few more matches in this time. Definitely looking forward to my matchup, and whether I advance and face either Billy Bad Aim or the Upside Down, or if I lose, I would face either Gizmo Lightning or X Ninjas. Don't want to face either of them, but we'll see what happens. So I'll of course update this next video or a couple videos from now, depending if matches have been played or not. If no matches have been played, I won't update on it. But yeah, so the next thing I'm gonna have is I will say my next video is gonna be on the Creature Chaos Dino event. Hopefully I'll have the decks by then to review those. I'm also going to look at the point structure and the bonus points to see what type of results can we expect. What kind of points do I think people are going to need to potentially qualify? There's always going to be this is the lowest amount possible that with these players, if they win out, can 12 points potentially advance? Yeah, potentially. And the max is going to be, 17, I think. So there's a case where you might have to have 17 points basically to win, to qualify, depending on how many players play. So we'll see. We'll go through that, and I'll have the numbers all worked out for that. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. Of course, they have the in-game sealed events going. I don't know what this week's is going to be. I can actually check the client. If I hit the right button here. The Last Winter is next. So set 3. This could be a good one to get. I don't have that much gold. Oh. So basically, I don't play in the sealed events for the most part. I don't think the what you're receiving for the 5 matches is worthwhile. I'd rather spend my time doing something else. But if you're looking for decks and you want to farm some decks, it's a great way to do it. If you can afford to buy a Soulbind potion or 2, it's cheap to open up 4 phantoms, and then you Soulbind any of the ones you find that you like. So there's definitely some good decks to be had in the Last Winter. I may open some. I may try to save some as well, knowing that the Mage, Wizards, and Warlocks set is coming before the end of the month. Not a lot of time. And if I do get any spoilers, I'll of course let you guys know. I do not have any at this time. Lucas has not mentioned if he's going to give any out to any content creators or not. I'm sure he will, but it's a wait and see. So that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown of the decks. Again, for anyone who had a deck and I criticized it, don't take it personal. Very few decks are going to be of the perfect quality. Travelers are typically the only ones that are always going to meet the muster, because that's all he plays with. The bar is very high with him. So, like I said, don't take it personal. My decks are far from perfect as well, but sometimes you look at a deck and you're like, what is this deck supposed to do? And then you play it and you're like, wow, what just happened? What's going on? And they surprise you and you learn things. So definitely could be the case with your deck, and hopefully I don't face a lot of these decks, because some of them could be scary, just don't know it. Others, well, they might not be. But yeah, so thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys give me a like if you enjoyed the content. Feel free to comment on my video. And I will say, no one guessed Traveler's favorite card. So I will tell you what the card is. Actually, I should pull it up is what I should do. Let me do that real quick. I'll pull up the card. That way... I gotta pull up the card database, I guess. You might be surprised by what he picked. I was. Let's do it this way. Get all 3 levels pulled up here. And then get this pulled up too. Oh, it's got that there too. Good. I don't need those 2 tabs. Okay. Let me switch over here. So the card is, his favorite card is Devour Soul. All right. So Devour Soul is a Necrium spell. It is a soulbind, and it is basically a enhanced Om Nom Nom, more or less. So it gives a creature -2/-2 at level 1, and if it destroys the creature, you can play Soul Gorger, who we see down here. He's a 3/6 spirit with stealth. When you play a spell, give this +3, so he gets boosted when you play spells with it. So that's the level 1. The level 2 version is -5/-5, just like Om Nom Nom. You get to play Soul Gorger if you destroy it. Of course, Soul Gorger better than a zombie minion. And then the level 3 Devour Soul is -8/-8. If this destroys a creature, you may play Soul Devourer, which is an upgraded version. It's a 6/10 spirit stealth. When you play a spell, give this +4 attack. So it's a really nice ability. Like I said, it's like an enhanced Om Nom Nom, essentially, which is a good removal card. It can be a nice 2 for 1, or however you want to look at that. You get rid of 1, you gain 1. So that's his favorite card. That's what he settled on. I was surprised that's what he went with, but I totally see it as well. He does like this card. You can use it against your own creatures as well to bring out the Soul Gorger, which I think is complete BS, because other cards, we used to be able to target our own stuff, but we can't. But then they leave this one where you can. And he, with certain decks, is like a master at destroying his own creatures to flip it when you've got nothing for him to target that would die. So, yeah. So this is that's the card he chose, and no complaints, no wrong answers there in my opinion. But Devour Soul was his choice. So. We'll save that booster for another trivia next time. We'll see. Maybe we'll pick someone else to find out what their favorite card is and have people guess on that. So thanks to those who did guess, and congratulations to those who did guess trivia questions correctly. So like I said, I've got this 1 booster left to give out, And then I'm going to see if I can't get some more to do this, because I think people have enjoyed that. But who knows? But yeah, Devour Soul. So thanks, Traveler, for participating by giving me that info and letting me use it for a trivia question. I do appreciate that. And that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to get your Battle Pass done. You've got till the 25th, or I'd probably say be done by the 24th just to be safe, and collect everything. Make sure you collect your rewards before the 25th so you don't lose them. They do not go to like a mailbox or anything. They get eliminated. So make sure you do that. So take care, and I'll see you guys in and around the game, and next time. Take it easy.